And now you need to be able to figure out a way to do it better, because oftentimes you're in demand or you're adding something
Mm-hmm.
additional. And so you've had an opportunity
Yeah.
come up and you want to be able to take care of it. You want to be able to get all the benefits of it. And so we just want to make sure that you can put everything in place to make it easier.
It's like you're looking through a telescope. You see where you're going to be.
Hi everyone, Elle Ballard is here today on the Empowered Global Women in Business podcast with my beautiful guest, Yolanda Churchwell. Hi Yolanda, welcome.
Hi, Elle. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Good to see you. I'm excited for this conversation. We've worked together, but we haven't talked about it. So
Right.
I'd love to dive in. Good to see you. Happy birthday.
Thank
um,
you.
and before we jump in, I want to introduce Yolanda. So Yolanda Churchwell is a CEO's fractional COO and founder of the Business Assistance Group, helps women CEOs trade chaos for clarity and scale with confidence. Her proven strategies, SOPs, and systems turn overwhelm into streamlined growth so entrepreneurs can focus on vision, not the busy work. I love the work you do. Of course, you've helped me tremendously. And I want to talk about how did this desire start, specifically this field of systems and, helping others to scale and grow. Where did that come from? How did that birth?
Well, first I'm going to say the very short version is I didn't pick it, but it's been in me my whole life. But the way that it came about is that this is not my first business. I had a clothing store and we had women and men's clothes, dress clothes, plus sizes, big and tall, all the things that were hard to find. And so I started that business while I was still working my 9 to 5, and it took off like a rocket. I had a brick and mortar, 2 online, did vendors events, personal stylists to pastors and their wives across 3 states. Everything was going great. I loved the store. I loved what I was doing because I love to shop. And so this way I was getting paid to do what I love. So
Yeah.
what was happening though, what started to happen as the store continued to grow bigger is that I found like my days were getting longer, like all of the things that I
Mhm.
had to do. And anyone who knows me knows that because I love to shop, I don't really like for people to look like me or for people to look alike. So I really only ordered 2 of everything in the store. And it was usually a different color or a different pattern, but that meant there was a lot of ordering. Okay. And
Mhm.
then, so what I found is that I was getting behind on my ordering because I was doing everything manually, back orders, and when things didn't come in. And then the thing was, I didn't just sell the clothes. I partnered with 2 local tailors, and so I made sure that my clients wore their clothes. Their clothes didn't wear them. And then my 9 to 5 was that I worked for the IRS, and I wasn't filing my sales tax returns. How you gonna be a licensed CPA and not do your own taxes? And so I was having penalties and fines, and then just the stress of knowing that that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. And then last but not least, my team. I had my parents. And cheap labor is not always the best labor. My mother was snowbirding, so she would go back and forth between here, me in Ohio,
Mm.
and my sister in Florida. So I never knew where she was at because she didn't stick to the rules of the calendar. She went when she wanted to go. And my father, he doesn't like to spend money. So when people would come in the store, he would say things like, "Don't you have a tie that color at home?" Or, "The tailor can fix that." And I'm like, "This is not, Daddy, this is not how this works." So although my bank account said that everything was great, the money was going in the bank account, the customers were growing, on the inside, I felt like I was frustrated. I was
Mm.
overwhelmed. I didn't know how to fix things. And what I saw, being me, I'm a preacher kid, I prayed and I paused
Mm.
and I prayed and I
Mhm.
paused. And what I started to realize is that I had a plan. I had a backup plan. I had a backup plan to my backup plan. If you know me, I am a woman who, if this don't work, we're going to do this. And if this don't work, we're going to do that. And in reality, what I learned is that a plan not to fail is not the same thing as a plan to succeed. And
Mm.
so I didn't have a plan in place for if it did work. And so when
Mhm.
I would work with a woman to help her get dressed, we would start with a nice girdle, a good bra, a foundation, so that instead of showing her ripples and her dimples, the clothing would accentuate her curves. Well, my
Yeah.
store didn't have a girdle, and all of the ugliness was starting to seep out. And so, in
Mm,
my reflection and looking at what was going on, I realized I didn't have automation and processes in place to help me with the ordering. I didn't have CEO days set aside to make sure that I was taking care of the business of my business. I hadn't built a strong team that could be very good at their roles versus just hiring my parents. And so it allowed me to see that you have to create a foundation for your success, because otherwise, when the wind of success rolls in, you're going to fall apart and you're not going to be able to make it. So at that point, I was at a crossroads. Do I fix these things in the store? And I just felt like the store had served its purpose. I had learned the lesson, so I know what a lot of
mhm.
CEOs go through. And it was very easy because all of my skill sets, natural and learned, led me in that direction. So I went from helping women look good on the outside to helping women build businesses that they can sustain over the long term. So that's how I came to be the CEO's fractional COO.
I love that story. And this is the first time I'm hearing. So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
You've had all this experiences, all this like working with your family,
Hmm.
and it's just so true. So thank you for being, so open and sharing everything, because I think it's just very true. And I know stories where that, it's all of this. And I love the plan to
Plan
fail.
not to fail
This
is not the
plan
same
not to
thing.
fail is not the same thing as plan to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I can so relate running in the weeds, trying to, put the fires and then actually not looking at the bigger vision. And so
Hmm.
that's exactly a lot of people are doing, right? They're
Yes.
running, trying not to fail
Hmm.
versus planning to. So that's just so beautiful. And I'm glad you transitioned, and of course, your IRS experience is perfect
Yes.
addition to everything that you do in the background there. Um, yeah. So, what is the first thing? What is the first thing you help them fix when they feel overwhelmed? When you're starting with there's so many things, and I know when if that again for sure. Where do I even start?
Hmm.
There's so many angles we can look at things. So what is the first thing you typically start
I think what sets
with?
me apart from anyone else is that because of my own story, I've been there. So I know what that
Yeah.
feeling is. I know all the dichotomies of what you're feeling. So the first thing that I help CEOs to do is to fix their priorities, get their priorities in order. Because most CEOs are drowning in tasks that are not moving the needle. Okay. We are actually majoring in the minor and minoring in the major. So the first thing I do is to help them to identify what are the highest revenue generating tasks in your business. What are those things in your business that only you can do that bring revenue in the door? Those are the only things that I want you to focus on. We're going to create
Hmm.
a plan to do everything else easier and better. This is where my biz besties delegate and automate come in. We're going to create standard operating procedures. Then we're going to get the systems to support those. We're going to build a team so that you can delegate and automate a lot of those things. And then the last piece is a mindset shift. I need you to shift from working in and for your business to running your business. So we're going to create the activity so that you can start to treat your business like a CEO, not a chief everything officer, but a visionary CEO. And so when you make that shift, you literally come out of those weeds that we've been talking about, and you're standing at the top of mountains. And if you've ever stood at the top of a mountain, you know that when you look down, you could see the water. You can't see that water when you're on the ground. When you're on the top of those mountains and you see that water, that is literally rivers of opportunity and streams of income. But as long as you're caught up in the weeds and you're not focused on your priorities, you're not operating in your zone of genius, you're not going to be able, when those opportunities knock on the door, when those streams of income come up, you're not going to be able to take good, be able to use them. So the first thing that I do is help them to figure out what should they be doing in their business, and then we'll figure everything else out.
So true. I love the analogy with the mountain. So true. And the view is just beautiful, more beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
Like seeing the river and the flow. And I love how you actually brought the analogy with the money,
Mhm.
the flow, and it's just easy river. Yeah, so true. yeah, and I feel like it's, is there any, like, starting when the starting points to where people bring you into the, are there, in the business
Hmm.
story,
Yeah,
um
yeah. So
or
usually,
when is the best time? Mm-hmm.
yeah, usually my clients, they've been in business for a while. They may be making 5 or 6 figures, trying to break into 6 or 7 figures. But what the best way to sum it up is that they probably started out as a solopreneur and they were able
Mm,
to manage all of the things. But as your
yeah.
business grows, it's harder to do all of the things. So they're feeling this tug of war between what it is they do for their clients and the business of doing business, all those things in the back end that we need to make a business run. And so at that point in time, that's when they call me and I'm able to come in and make everything. I take over the stuff in the back end and get it set up in a way so that it's easier for you, help you to build out a team, and be able to take those things off of your plate so you can focus on getting new clients and delivering to those clients and doing the things that you want to do in terms of not only your business, but your personal life. I am a huge proponent of CEO life harmony. So I
Mm,
don't feel like you have to balance. I serve a God that is
yes.
in all. He does not either and or. He does not make us choose. So once you get your priorities straight and you know what it is that you should be doing and you focus on that, we can fix everything else around that. So usually they're
Mm-hmm.
at that point where I like to say growth requires new solutions. They're feeling some growing pains and it's perfectly okay. Don't panic. Just get the help.
Yeah, yeah, totally see that. Yeah, there's so many things to
Yeah, and
tackle.
like you, in your
Yeah,
case, you were adding a new business activity.
new,
So a lot of
like,
times you're like,
right.
okay, I've done this before, but you know what? I don't want to do it the way I did it before. Like, help me just do it the easy way. And so we were able to have the conversations and lay things out in a way that you had a plan that you could just move forward
Mm-hmm.
and handle everything a lot easier.
Yeah, that adding that, yeah, because that was, yeah, in my work, adding it that another layer.
Hmm.
Yeah, which, yeah, exactly. And how, like, understanding also how this new layer, so if it's a new product, maybe for those who listen as well, have a similar story. For me, it was, if I have this, built this foundation, and then, but I'm expanding, I'm adding this another
Hmm.
thing to it.
Hmm.
And so those who are adding maybe new products or services, how
Hmm.
understanding how that fits into the big picture or the whole picture. And yeah, so that was definitely mine. Yeah. And it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it was great
Yeah.
to have that clarity.
Yeah, it's definitely you've been doing what you do. You know what it is you do. You know who it is you serve, and you know how you do
Hmm.
it. And now you need to be able to figure out a way to do it better because oftentimes you're in demand or you're adding something
Hmm.
additional. And so you've had an opportunity
Yeah.
come up and you want to be able to take care of it. You want to be able to get all the benefits of it. And so we just want to make sure that you can put everything in place to make it easier.
Speaking about your clients and you working with clients, what is your favorite win or transformation that you helped create?
I think for me, it's a client. She stands out because she had a coaching program and
Uh-huh.
she had been trying to have the launches, the sale events. She had tried the webinar. She tried the 9-day model. She had tried all of the different models and she really was discouraged and frustrated. And
Mm.
it was more so when I was able to sit down and have a conversation with her, she had a really great offer. What was getting in her way was the mechanics of everything. And so,
Mm.
not only am I a fractional COO, but I am the CEO of the Business Assistance Group, which is a done for you agency. And so we were able to come in and get all of her assets, all of her landing pages, all of her emails, all of the things that go behind the scenes of putting an event together. We were able to help her get all of that in place. And so she went from unsuccessful launches to being able to have sold out cohorts. She had a waiting list for her coaching program. She was making more money than she had ever made before. She was having 6-figure sales events. And so we planned her event. We created her landing pages and emails. We built out all of those back end assets. So all she had to do was show up. And then, in addition to that, what we do is we create the SOPs so that you have the step by step directions so you know how to move forward. So now she had something, she had a blueprint essentially that she
Hmm.
could rinse and repeat over and over. And she's been having successful launches ever since. So where she was at a point where she was feeling like, I don't know if this is right. Maybe I'll just go back to working with people one on one. We were able to come in and as I like to say, take the hassle out of her hustle. And by hustle, I mean her gift. We were able to take the hassle out of her hustle so she could make more money and have more free time. And I think that's why I do what I do.
Congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you and your clients. Yeah,
Thank
wonderful
you.
story. Thank you for sharing. Now, those who are listening to us right now, if they want to connect with you, if they want to learn more about your company, Business Assistance Group, how do they find you? And we will post, by the way, we'll post links how to connect with Yolanda in the comments of this audio and video. But just, yeah, if you want to say it out loud as well.
Okay, so I am on YouTube. I am Yolanda K. Churchwell. I am on Facebook. I am on LinkedIn, and I am on Instagram. I am Yolanda K. Churchwell, and I'm also the Business Assistance Group, which I like to call the bag for short. My clients get the bag to help them secure their bag. And so you can find me on all of those platforms. And I actually have a special gift today for your listeners who are CEOs might be trying to figure out where they're at right now in their journey. So I have an assessment, a quiz, very quick quiz called What Type of CEO Are You? And so I'll give you the link to that and you can drop it in so that they have it. And it will just help you to figure out where are you as we're talking about this big scheme of things. Where are you on your journey? And then provide you some actionable strategies for where you are. So that's my
Oh,
gift to your audience today
amazing.
for allowing me to step into their worlds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What a wonderful thing to be able to really focus and without the need to. Yes, thank you for offering that gift. And
Yes.
again, all the links will be posted here as well. We have a lot of women who are thinking to open business, who have been building businesses, listening to this podcast. What are some of the lessons? So maybe, I mean, there are so many usually, right? But to you, what's the one of the maybe biggest lessons or aha moment in this journey of being a woman in business, building business for yourself on your own terms as a woman?
I will say that going back to what I said about my story, one of the biggest lessons for me was to learn that a plan not to fail is not the same as a plan to succeed. Not just for what it meant for my business, but in making that mindset shift in every
Yeah.
area of life. So many times we're preparing for the what if, the worst case scenario, and there's
Mm,
nothing wrong with being prepared for it, but to the point that you're not prepared for when the good things happen. So being able to accept that I don't have to control everything, that all I have to do is do my best, be gracious with myself. Know that some days are going to be big wins. Some days I'm going to have a loss or two. Some days I'm just going to stand still. But at the end of the day, it's all going to come together. It's all going to work together. And I'm a better person and I have a better business. So I would say learning how to let go and be more strategic and visionary in my thinking instead of reactionary and trying to be protective and control things. That would be one of the biggest lessons that I learned, not only as a business owner, but as a woman indeed.
yeah, that's a good one. So good. Mindset is so good. And yeah, and thank you for bringing that quote again back
Yeah.
because it's so important. Yeah, it's so interesting how a lot of it is in here.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a dance class yesterday and I was talking to my instructor how I have the strength to do this particular one move, but I'm not fully doing it because I'm not
Mm-hmm. Because of what's
trusting
in
my
your mind.
partner right
Yes.
here.
Yes.
I'm scared to fall or I'm scared that he's not going to be able to hold me or
Uh-huh.
whatever, but it's all right here because strength wise I can. It's just so interesting how that can it's just everywhere in our lives, take
Yes.
it business or life or dance in my case as well. So it's so thank you for that,
Yeah. Once
for
you
sharing
believe
that.
it, and once they
Yeah.
say the biggest sale you will ever make is yourself. When you sell
Yes.
yourself to yourself and you believe in you fully, then there's nothing that can stop you.
I love it. Before we move to the rapid fire questions, is there
Okay.
anything else you want to add?
No, I thank you for allowing me to come here today. I just, as you can see, I love talking about what it is that I do. I just want to disrupt the status quo. We all know that
Hmm.
we've heard the statistic that 8 out of 10 businesses fail after a certain amount of time. And I know that that's
Yeah,
not because people have bad services or bad products. A lot of the time, it's because they don't have what they need in order to succeed. And so I just want to do my part even if the statistic only goes to 7 out of 10. When you think
hmm,
about how many people that is across the world, that is still a big, big, big impact. And so I just want to make sure that we don't have these dreams and we start to build them and then lose them. The worst thing is
yeah,
not going out of business. I'm telling you because I learned it firsthand. The worst thing is not going out of business because you don't have something good. It's going out of business because you can't sustain that good thing.
that's another great one as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, yeah.
So
Thank you.
you're
Thank
welcome.
you, Yolanda.
You're welcome. Thank you, Elle.
Okay, yeah. So, and thank you for being here, sharing your wisdom, and thank you for the work you do. Because I know it's definitely has helped me, and I'm sure it will as we continue working together. So, yeah, thank you. Um, okay, so we're going to move on to the rapid fire questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
And my first question is, your favorite book name
My
is?
favorite book right now is The Gift of Rejection by Nona Jones.
Mm,
It actually talks about how rejection can be a gift because it can help you to be able to break free of things to get on your course and your path. And it's a phenomenal book. Ever since I read it, I've been telling people that they need to read it. It's amazing. It's called The Gift of Rejection by Nona Jones.
I haven't read that one yet.
Mhm.
I'm noting it. Thank you. Gift of rejection. Awesome. Okay, beach or mountains?
Beaches all day long. Hmm.
Summer or winter?
Summer. I'm a summer baby and I love the hot weather. Winter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah,
Having
same,
grown
same.
up in Ohio, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Favorite international, if any, destination to visit?
Right now I'll say Turks and Caicos.
Mm, okay.
Yes.
Awesome. And my final question is things that you have discovered about yourself recently.
One of the things, and it's crazy that you're asking this because I just turned 50 about 3 weeks ago. And so I would say one of the things that I have really learned recently about myself is just to trust myself. Trust what
Mhm.
I know, trust what I believe, and then just walk in that courageously. That's not to say that fear is not going to come, but don't let fear
Yeah,
paralyze me and just keep pushing through, putting one foot in front of the other. As long as I have God and I know that I'm basing what I'm doing off of His direction and sound advice in my life from those who really love me, everything is going to work out.
so beautiful, so
Yeah. So
inspiring.
just
Thank
trust in myself.
you. Yeah, it's interesting. Why do we forget that? It
Um,
sounds simple
We do it as
and
kids. As kids, we don't second guess things. We're fearless. We just go,
right.
we do. And it's something about life that it starts to throw
Hmm.
those things at us. And longevity runs in my family. So I feel like this is the first year of the second half of my life. And so I'm
Yes.
just like, you know what?
Yes.
I played by all of the rules the first half, but this half, I'm doing all the things that I want to do. I'm going to live my very best life. And so, yeah.
There you go. Yay. I'm celebrating with you. Happy birthday again.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
taking the time for this conversation. It's wonderful. And yeah, we'll be please those who are listening, if something resonated, connect with Yolanda.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Elle, for having me.
Thank you.